Let's get physical, it's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Switch, March the 17th until the 21st. Let's see what we've got. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is Nintendo's big title for this month, and it is a welcome return to the Xenoblade series, even if it is a spin-off and originally a Wii U game. It was the best game on the Wii U, and you can fight me. A huge open world that was a miracle on the system, and it's probably the reason Nintendo got Monolith to help out on some of their other games like Zelda. These guys are technical wizards, and it's great to see such a fantastic game get the second chance it deserves. I think maybe it's turned up a bit later than it could have. The Switch's sales have truly plateaued, so it may not get the massive numbers it deserves, but hey, I'm sure Nintendo will be happy with the double-dipping dingleberries like myself. This now includes more story content, because it was very unlike the other Xenoblade games, with the story here taking more of a backseat, so I'm interested to see how they're gonna mediate that. But either way, I can't wait for this one, and my executive producers, Adamantium, Precision Plague, Issa, Robotech, Dave Horworth, Dave Huswaite, Dane Wilkinson, Thorn Metal Luna, Jennifer M, Kevin W, Feig, Punky Dooster, Lewis K, Jeddah Crow, Brotorius, Sora Cat, and Surfacing for Air have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail games in this video, consider purchasing via the links in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out and this series to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a really great company with cheap prices in Canadian money, and they have free worldwide shipping on orders over 80 Canadian bucks, which is less than 60 American dollars. Plus, each week, if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Kevin V. Congratulations, Kevin. You should get an email from VGP if you haven't already with your discount coupon. Thank you so much for your support and everyone else out there. I truly do appreciate it. What else have we got this week? Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land is releasing this week physically. Yes, we've got two massive JRPGs going head-to-head in the same week. This is almost as big as last week's Battle of the Islands. Not quite. Now, you may have seen my video about Atelier Yumia last week. It is a good game, but the Switch version does struggle somewhat. Definitely not the best looking Atelier game on the system, nor the best performance. But if you want the Switch physical, well, it's only releasing in North America. There may be an English Asian release somewhere, but really, if you're in Europe, you're gonna want to import from North America. And Video Games Plus will sell it with the links below. This is a big open world game now, and there's real-time battle system. I quite like it. I don't think it will eclipse Ryza, but it's still good. I really like the gun as well, that's really fun. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox physicals are worldwide, but Europe is also getting the PS4 version if you want that. I asked VGP and they said they will try to get some PS4 copies for North Americans, but we'll have to see. And my executive producers, Rose, Azrath, Cartoon Soren, The Nemo 6, Justin, PDC, Josh Foot, Ghost Bune, and D's Nuts have chosen this as their pick of the week. That's 8 compared to Xenoblade 17. I actually thought it would be closer than that. Brok the InvestiGator is releasing in Europe this week, although as always VGP will carry copies of it for North Americans. This is a point-and-click adventure game that adds in some beat-em-up elements, which sounds kind of fun. I always thought George Stobart should have punched his way through the hospital rather than in disguise. I would have definitely chinned that nurse. This is universally loved for its target audience, who will not hear a bad word said against it. This is the standard edition I'm talking about, but if you check out Red Hot Games' website, they have a special edition, which I guess will be sent out around this week as well. I'm not entirely sure about that. And if you want that, you can get 10% off with my code Jordan10. And my executive producer, Brent McLean, has chosen this as his pick of the week. The Messenger is getting a new release this week. This has made a lot of people very excited because now they can own a fantastic game for a reasonable price. It was previously done by a special reserve and limited run, with the physical often fetching $200 these days, but now you can get a better version, one with DLC on the cartridge for was it $28? That is fantastic. It mixes 8-bit and 16-bit visuals for an incredible experience that is more than you can imagine. Ninja Gaiden and then some. Okay, the box art isn't as nice as it was, but I'll take it for an affordable price. This is releasing on the Switch and PlayStation 5. First time it's been on the PS5. And my executive producers, Offone, Super Ben Julio, Jake Vav, Ishin, and Instacritic have chosen this as their pick of the week. Let's School is releasing in Europe this week. Not sure what's happened to the North American version, it seems to have gone MIA. This game is a bit like 2 Point Campus, where you control a school as the headmaster, and it's probably a bit more in-depth, like maybe even a tad overwhelming. So if you want something more complicated in your management sim games, then maybe give this one a go. Eldrador Creatures Shadowfall is releasing in Europe this week. North America will have to wait until next month for this, well, it's a strategy game for kids. Kids who are fans of Eldrador Creatures, a franchise I know nothing about, aside from that this is the second game on the Switch, and it looks like, well, like it was made by one bloke. It doesn't look great, but you know what, the gameplay reminds me a bit of Dynasty Tactics, which is the greatest strategy game ever made, so who knows? I can't believe I just compared this to Dynasty Tactics. Anyways, my executive producer, my man in Japan Vey, has chosen this as his pick of the week. I'm sure he's got his reasons. Caravan SandWitch, a quick mention to this, which should be releasing in North America this week, and it should be out in Europe already. Alright, the low print limited releases. If you're new here and you enjoy physical video games, do yourself a favor and subscribe. The bigger this channel is, it's called Physical Paradise. The more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media. Don't let physical die, okay? Do your bit and subscribe. Blood Rally Show is up for pre-order right now, and it is Red Hot Games' latest release. This is if you mix old school GTA visuals with micro machines, and that is all I've got to say about it. It doesn't look like the most interesting title ever made, and the fact that the deluxe edition for this one, exclusive to their website, comes with just a keychain rather than anything special. That tells me even they are struggling to give a shit about it. Reviews say it's pretty fun though, and if you do pre-order it from, redhotgames.com, remember, Jordan 10 for 10% off. Symphonia is the latest game from Game Fairy. Yes, they are still alive. They did the Coma double pack recently. Now they're doing Symphonia, which I kind of feel like I've talked about before, but I've been doing this so long, I can't even remember what I did this morning, so did I talk about this? I don't know. But if you head right now to Game Fairy's website, they have 2 editions of Symphonia, a standard edition as well as a collector's edition limited to just 1,000 copies, which comes with a bunch of admittedly nice looking paper products. The game itself is a gorgeous looking precision platformer. Maybe it struggles to stand out in terms of gameplay, but it's back to basic simpleness, which sometimes is what you need. Salt and Sacrifice is getting a physical release, finally. I thought this would be nailed on to get one not long after its digital release. Salt and Sanctuary was a big game, and Sacrifice is the follow-up to that. However, it is considered to be quite a disappointment compared to the original. I think that's mainly due to it doing its own thing. I did hear it is pretty fun in multiplayer compared to single player. It's been compared to Dark Souls with Monster Hunter rather than a Metroidvania, which will always cheese some people off. Now, at Limited Run Games, you can, interestingly, also get a double pack with the original game, which is kind of cool because I think that's starting to get pretty expensive physically. I do wonder if that will be an updated cartridge or just a reprint of the original. Not a big deal, it only got a very small patch, I believe. Anyways, my executive producers, Wixit, Ethan Blue, and my brand new executive producer, Vast Neon, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Under Defeat is Limited Run's other game this week, and this one we kind of knew about for ages. Should be no great surprise to see them do Under Defeat, originally a Dreamcast helicopter shooter. It's a pretty hardcore game that's already got a release in Japan and was announced for a retail release in Europe. This North American limited run release offers a standard and a collector's edition on Switch and PlayStation 5. I'm sure if you're a shooter fan, you will pick this up if you haven't already. They open on Tuesday, and yeah, I played it on my Dreamcast for a bit, and it is quite fun, maybe a little bit repetitive, but you get to blow things up with a helicopter. Alright, usually we head over to the import section, but this week, Japan is not getting anything worth importing, I would say. There is Butto Bird, which I really wish we could import, but sadly, there's no English on that for whatever reason God is against us right now, because who doesn't want a game called Butto Bird in your collection? It's It's Japanese only. Alright, the community spotlight. It's currently Monday lunchtime for me as I'm recording this, and yes, time zones do exist, so I am running very, very far behind. Usually I have this video packed and ready by Saturday evening. So I'm running behind, I've been writing it slowly, I'm feeling under the weather, so yeah, this week I just want to go through it quickly. I'm only going to do my executive producers photos, okay? Kevin W sent in this photo with a double helping of Food Girls. Most VN fans look down on these as being overly simple and fluffy, but I'm an overly simple and fluffy guy, so I actually quite like them. Import exclusive physicals with English, and it's lunchtime, so I'm quite hungry. Thanks for that, Kevin. Our phone sent in this photo with Mario Kart 8 complete on cart version, which I think finally has reached saturation point. I think most people who wanted it now have it. It's taking much longer to sell out on VGP, but that's good, okay? Games should be readily available. That's what we want. Cartoon Soren sent in the fantastical mystery adventure jumbo jet murder thingy-mabob, something like that. Seen it a couple of times now, and it's kind of funny how, one person brought it to my attention, and then loads of people scrambled to get it. It feels kind of cool. Adamantium sent in this photo, all hail Suikoden, and nice to see Little Witch Nabetta. That is my kind of game. It could easily be a PlayStation 2 game, which means it's better than almost every other modern game. Vast Neon sent in this photo, getting in Maid of the Dead, proper culture, alongside the complete on-cart arms, which VGP pulled out of nowhere. At least I assume that's the complete version. It's difficult to actually know just looking at it. G Bautista 100 sent in 2 games I'm actually really interested in. They both share similar styles, early 90s Japanese adventure games. Love the art style, I just hope the stories live up to the presentation. VGP finally got in copies of the Switch version of Stories from Seoul, which was only released in Europe. Precision Plague sent in this photo, hail Suikoden. They also got in Super Dungeon Maker from Premium Edition Games. That did take a long time. They were waiting for the major content update to make it a fuller experience. The game's like twice the size it was when it originally launched, so it's good to wait sometimes. My man in Japan, Vei, sent in this photo, who played his fair part in unraveling the mystery of Kamitsubaki, which when it released, there was no English, which was strange because it was always advertised to have English, but then someone messaged me about there being a day 1 patch to add it, and they helped me verify it. Yes, the game does have English after a download. Not ideal, but it's better than a packet of Skittles. What am I talking about? Ghost Bune sent in this photo with some VN love. Remember, Canon now has English added if you finally want to experience this early key visual novel. I don't know if they're going to do a new print of the physical with English on the cards. That would be nice, but I don't know. Surfacing for Air sent in this photo with a double persona. Come on, VGP, I believe in you to get more stock of both of these. I think at this point 3 is rarer than 4, which wouldn't surprise me. I bet the print number was a bit lower. Instacritic, hail Suikoden. He also got in the chunky collector's edition of the Jumbo Jet mystery game, alongside some other absolute classics like the Horsey Double Pack. Lewis K sent in this photo, getting in a lot of imports. Many of them I wish I could have reviewed or at least made an impressions video. Sadly, since I left Switchwatch, it's been more difficult for me to contact publishers about review codes, especially when it comes to Japanese games. Publishers do not trust a Gmail account. I don't blame them, but yeah, I'm not paying for an overpriced personal email. So Dave Horworth sent in this photo. When the import exclusive games are reaching 500 different games, my brain is now struggling to remember them all. So yeah, I'm struggling to remember the top right game right now. I think it might be the Review Starlight VN. Not entirely sure. Answers on a postcard, please. JCross7776 sent in this photo. I've never played Skyward Sword. I bloody love Zelda games. I've owned a Wii, I own a Switch, and I've still not picked this up. I really don't know why. I think it's the fear of the hand-holding. That was the era when Nintendo didn't trust you to even breathe by yourself, never mind work out how to play a game. I hate hand-holding. Alright, let's have a roundup. Pabs. Sandra K. Trident M. John D. Devil Angel. Bent S. Stefan N. Brian G. Bay 6. D-Ren. Skip to the end. Don't skip to the end, that's their name. Maximus1216. Starvey. E2N. Choco Loco James. The One. Alright, please send me your picture. The details are on the screen right now. Pause the video if you don't know how to do it. Special thanks, as always, to my executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Noosa, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Raven Knight, Thorn Metaluna, Issa, Vey, Offphone, Instacritic, Precision Play, Alex M, Feig, Josh Foot, Ishin, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Husway and Hallworth, Wixit, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vav, Ethan Blue, D's Nuts, Jeddah Crow, Brotorius, Surfacing for Air, Justin PDC, and my brand new executive producer, Vast Neon. Thank you so much for your support, plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, what a legend you are as well. Please leave me a salt emoji in honor of Salt and Sacrifice, the double salt pack. Also, thank you to everyone who purchases via my links. That really does greatly support me in the best way possible. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.